of something new. It feels so right to be here with you. Oh, and now looking in your eyes, I feel in my heart the start of something new.
Hi, my name is Jen Ladia. I'm the theater teacher here at NSU University School, and I am the director of the middle school production High School Musical Junior. We started the process off right in January with a 2-week virtual rehearsal so that if we can be safe during times if students traveled in December.
For our first 2 weeks, we had virtual rehearsals, and we had a few music rehearsals online. So I had my keyboard at home plugged into my computer so I could send the piano sound through the computer. We had a Dropbox folder set up to where the students could record themselves singing what we had learned in those virtual rehearsals, and I could see them all just to track progress until we were able to be in person.
Being able to be together for the last 2 months has really been good for the students' social aspect, but choosing something this year for middle school, it was important that it was fun. It was important that it felt lively, it had energy. We are really good at providing that environment for them to keep them going, keep them thinking, not keeping it simple. Simple is boring.
In my role, I coordinate everything that happens on stage as far as the schedule. I am in charge of making sure our build is on time, we have a set that is built, and I do all the light designs for our shows here.
For all of our middle school productions, we provide an opportunity for our upper school students to be mentors, to take on different roles as assistant directors, as choreographers, as deck managers, as publicity and marketing. And this year, off the top of my head, I think there's about 15 of them that have taken on these design roles.
I help all the student mentors with all their technical parts in the show. We have kids working on every aspect of the show as far as publicity design, costume design, makeup design, sometimes set design.
2 of our seniors, Liberty Lapioker and Jackie Sinai, were the assistant directors for the production, so they took 2 scenes each and a song, and they staged it with the middle school students. Some were virtual, some were in person. We have a senior student, Dylan Heller, who choreographed the musical. All the musical numbers were choreographed by her, and an assistant, Maddie Musso.
This is a unique performance. This is a unique performance. Everything that you see has been carefully staged, carefully crafted, carefully produced, carefully directed. Every part of this has had to be micromanaged so that we can have a safe production and so that you at home can be part of our world, our experience, our passion, and our love for the theater.
We're wearing face shields, putting on mics. We're having kids try to do their own hair and makeup, trying to put on their own mics with young kids that haven't done this before. But I think it's a really great learning experience for them to see all of the extra pieces that go into the puzzle, but it is challenging for us, and it's added quite a bit of time to our process.
So this process, thankfully in many ways, was very similar to a normal theater process, but we had the difference of having everyone spread out 12 feet from each other during music rehearsals, wearing masks in the theater so that we could still be together in person while singing, but do it in a safe way. That was great for everyone involved.
The hardest thing about this show was staging, and I didn't have to do it, was staging everyone 6 feet apart. Everyone's 6 feet apart, especially on a stage when you have 3 scenes happening at once. So you'll see later in the musical, there is a time when we're at a competition and a basketball game and an audition all at the same time in a space where you're trying to put 20 kids on stage and they all need to be 6 feet apart. All of the kids are really stepping up. I also have a lot of new tech students who are stepping up and taking on so many more roles. We have a sophomore student who is running things backstage and who's always willing to kind of step in and help up. Senior Amanda Koppelman is our stage manager. The stage manager's role is the most important one, really. They make the show happen. Anything that's happening during the show, the stage manager has called it, has let us know that this is what needs to happen. We also have Jack Steinman. I'm super excited about him. He is in 8th grade. He has stepped up as the assistant stage manager. He used to be on stage primarily, but is really proving himself as far as the backstage roles that he could potentially do in the future. Another fun little thing that you're going to see today are our homemade basketball hoops. Everybody really loves them. They were super simple. John Odom and I designed them, and Sebastian Olivo helped me make them, and Stephanie Snyder. They're really cool. They fly in, and it just makes everybody kind of happy.
There were so many different technological factors that we had to consider in order to bring this show to you in the comfort of your home, one of which was video. And so we have multiple cameras set up throughout the house, and all of those cameras feed back here to our little pop-up micro studio that we built in our theater, call it U Studio Mini. And we are able to take all of the different feeds from those cameras and switch between them so that you can have a really dynamic experience watching from home. Another really difficult part of this puzzle was figuring out the audio. Anytime you hear a musical number, that number was recorded in our recording studio, in U Studio, and the students came in over some very long weekends, and they laid down the tracks for their different recordings. In order to make it safe, we wanted to be able to put the students in a space where they could take off their masks and sing so that we could record their vocals really clearly. But to do that, we had to separate students, and we had to record them kind of one at a time. So we'd bring them in small groups, and we'd have one student in the vocal booth, we'd have one student in the TV studio, another one in the classroom, and that way the students were able to take off their masks and be safe, and we could hear them really clearly and record them really clearly. But it also meant that we had to edit together all of their voices so that you could hear them as an ensemble. The first time that they were even able to hear what these songs, sound like was after we had spent weeks and weeks and weeks editing them.
But one of the tough things about the recording process is that once we recorded, say, the first half of the show vocally, that was printed, that's what we hear on opening night and tonight in the performance. So we had to really work on the musicality of everything and make sure that it was ready to go much earlier than most productions normally do.
We brought in a sound engineer. Our musical director has also had his hand all over the digital score as well as the edit. So we really put together an incredible team to be able to do what we're going to do.
My role as a sound engineer is to be able to mix and blend all the microphones and music together. One unique experience in this particular time is that we're mixing kids with masks, and that becomes a challenge to be able to replicate a clear sound. But I also see that you guys have incredible facilities with incredible equipment. I come from working at the Adrian Arts Center, also at the Fillmore and different other performing arts venues in Miami-Dade County. And you guys are really well geared, and it gives me a great pleasure for me to be able to not only put my talent, but be able to also learn in what you guys have here in this facility.
As a music director, normally I'm working all the way up until the curtain rises on the opening night just to make sure that everyone is singing the right things, singing them the way they need to be sung, in a way that is emotionally impactful.
I've never had someone who knows me like you do, the way you do. I've never had someone as good for me as you, no one like you. So lonely before I finally found what I've been looking for.
Not everything that came out of COVID was bad, and one of the gems of our experience here was being able to really learn how to fully utilize all of the technology that we have at our fingertips. and not the least of which is our capacity to record music. I'm very excited about the future of our music production program. I think you're going to see some really incredible things on the horizon, and I'm really thrilled to be able to take full advantage of everything that University School has to offer.
I do want to congratulate the school for having such an amazing program.
There's an air of professionalism that all of the students and staff working carry throughout rehearsals and the production, and I've really had a blast being here.
As a professional sound engineer, I understand that putting all this together is not easy, but I really would like to congratulate everyone here for the great effort.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the show. Go Wildcats.
We're really proud to present High School Musical Junior.
Enjoy the show.
Do this right.